afternoon, sir.
Viven en un country. Andan en BMW para arriba. Los fines de semana se cogen a las mejores minas. Morfan bien todos los días. El día anterior al partido durmieron tranquilamente en un hotel 5 estrellas y se rascaron la verga durante 24 horas sin hacer nada, jugando al ping-pong y al pool y a la play. Juegan al fútbol todos los días de su vida. Los botines, $6.000, $5.000, no sé cuánto salen, ponele 3.000 mangos, 4.000 mangos, están vendados por un kinesiólogo. Están bien comidos, están bien entrenados. Las medias, que son las que no te cortan la circulación, los pantaloncitos, que son los de los huevos, que no te raspan los huevos, la camiseta te estira la espalda, es la que no transpira, que sale 800 pesos, no sé cuánto sale una camiseta para jugar al fútbol. La pelota es perfecta, perfecta, 120 euros, inflada con un barómetro a 8 bares, la cancha no tiene un solo pozo, el arco tiene 7 metros 20 por 2,40. Te aplauden cuando salís a la cancha. La concha de tu madre, no sabés parar una pelota. Le vas a pagar al arco y la tirás a la mierda. Le vas a hacer un pase a tu compañero que está a 1 metro. Y así se la pasás.
We hate Tottenham, we hate Tottenham.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, shout out Turkish, but this has to be the funniest video on the internet right now.
More, because this is professional football. It's a man's game. And by that I mean this is the men's game. The women have their game, the men have their game. If there's a men's game, there's a women's game, there's not a boys' game, there's not a kids' game.
Digging deeper.
Even though there is that as well, but in terms of...
Nah, Arteta, you need to see what you're doing to your guy.
And I've had fucking Wigan fans and fucking every other fucking set of fans going second. If that ain't fucking motivation enough. So every fucking fan base now will be singing second again, second again.
They're all singing it. They're going down. They're going down. They're singing
They're going fucking down tonight. You know what I mean? Like every fucking one of them players, fucking get off the bus today and fucking walk home. Because you don't deserve to be fucking driving home today in a luxury this and that. Every one of them has let down that Arsenal Football Club. They are
The word bottlers has of course been used quite a lot since bottlers. Has been used a lot since Wednesday's draw. What are so you're obviously top of the Champions League, top of the Premier League still. Do you think that's fair, and what?
It's good. It's for the team because the game is not simple. I'm very proud.
What are you looking at? Don't like the stream.
It's so long.
Don't like the stream. Shit. Big up everyone. Big up everyone that's locked in. Listen, people. It's the Love London derby. Usually we're in a better place when we face this team, but unfortunately, this time is a must-win. Ladies and gentlemen, let me read out something. Yeah, let me read out something. This is just to know how we fell. Match week 22, we were first by 50 points. Match week 22, Man City were second by 43 points. Match week 27, we're first, 58 points. Second, Man City are second, 56 points. When we told people that it is not sustainable, it's gonna happen at some point. You can't play shit all 38 games. It's just not possible. You can play a competition maybe, yes, but a 38 game. You was expecting to go through every game through set pieces and own goals and dark arts. 38 games. But unfortunately, this is where we are at the moment. Terrible game against Wolves. Well, it was a disgrace, bro. It was a disgrace. I've never been more ashamed to be an Arsenal fan in that second half. Absolute disgrace, bro. Jez, how are you first of all, and how are we feeling about that Wolves game?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks, and as always, thanks for inviting us over to join this elite panel. Yeah, I'm good. Nervous about the game, I won't lie.
it's a must-win. A draw is not good enough. We always know that it always seems to be, doesn't it? Arsenal drop off this time of year, and Man City kick in. Seen it too many times now, haven't we all? So we've got to go there today, and we've got to have a proper team that's got the passion to win the North London derby. Now, if there's one game that Arsenal players should be up for, it's this game. We haven't done it against Man United. We lost. That's the biggest game of the season for me in rivalry. This one is tribal. It's tribal. We cannot have the Tottenham fans singing to the Arsenal fans. You've bottled it again. And dear God, if they beat us today, I don't think they will. I'm quite confident we will win. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think the Arsenal players will be nervous. Tottenham players are going to be big up for it. And but we've got to win, guys. Yeah, we've got to prove we are the best team in London. And it's a massive ask today. It's all down to the manager now to set that team up in the right positive fashion. Whoever's captain today, I'd like it to be Declan Rice. I don't think it will be. It's probably be Gabriel. He's got a show now. He's got a pair and actually get these players up for it in that dressing room, because I don't think the players are too keen on Arteta anymore. I think they're bored listening to his voice. And it's now down to the captain to say, we don't lose to Tottenham. As we once had a great captain that said that. We just do not lose to Tottenham. But we're going to see, guys. We're going to see. We're going to see.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Jez, condolences to you and your family. I just saw it on the comments right now. I think your mother-in-law passed away. Praise to your family. And
I was on a screen with Shane, actually. Yeah, I mean, she's 93, so bless her.
Rest in peace.
It's a long life.
Well, praise to your family anyway.
I won't lie. It's been a shit start to the year all round. So, but yeah, cheers, guys.
Thank you. Manny, I mean, that Wolves game was just that was a horrendous performance. I mean, the second half, did we even have a shot on target? Did we even create anything? We were playing, we were banking. We played a defensive lineup in the second half against the 20th, a relegated Wolves, Manny. A relegated Wolves. And the thing is that this is not the first time this system has been. It's been since the first game against Man United. We played the same way. It's just that when we get away with it, they praise the manager. When we don't, they blame anyone but him. Everyone around him. The players. It was Ray and Gabriel. It was Calafiore. It was I don't know who. As long as it's not this manager. Manny, please. How are you doing and what was your thoughts in the Wolves game?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you, brother. And I also want to pass my condolences on to Jez and his family. I mean, I sort of had an inkling about what was happening, but I never knew what it was. And I'm glad I got to know now. And Jez, my love, my prayers and condolences to all of you. And I do hope that your mother-in-law will be at peace in a better place. And I hope that your family will find the strength to move on. And what I can say right now is it isn't even just the second half, mind you. We've seen this entire pattern, and I will once again big up my good friend Natster. Pattern recognition. And if you're a rugby fan, do please check out his rant about England and the rugby. Steve Borthwick has got to go. Simple as that. But in the first half, we took a very early lead. And the thing about players like Saka and Martinelli and a few others, and even Madueke, is that they have this knack of being able to score some goals, but then they don't do very much afterwards. Saka, of course, was playing in the 10 because obviously the poor boy can't run anymore. And so if you stick him out on the wing, if you ask him to hug the touchline, I really don't even know if he can cut it. He scored that early goal, but you can also see that near the end of the first half, we started to sit back quite a bit, and we allowed Wolves to sort of get into the game. And the worst part is that this Wolves team wasn't even playing too well. They were struggling with the slippery surface because it was raining. There were a lot of misplaced passes, but we allowed them to get back into the game, and that was something that really, really, really angered me a great deal. So although we went in 1-0 ahead, I wasn't really happy. Then Chappie scored, taking advantage of some poor defending by Hugo Bueno, who couldn't hold his line. And we were 2-0 up, and I thought, at least now, at least if we were to start scoring in the second half and piling on the pressure, we secured the win. But then not too long afterwards, some slack defending, Chappie turns from villain to hero to villain, and Bueno goes the other way and scores an absolute worldie. And then it's 2-1. But instead of trying to take the initiative and say, you know what, we cannot even countenance having this team come back. We've got to start, having some reinforcement. We've got to start, really coming back and hitting them. And that was how Chappie scored that goal from a counter-attack. But instead, they gained more and more confidence. We didn't really seem to be able to do very much to stop it. And the biggest irony was that having come on as a substitute himself, Trossard went off for another sub, and that sub would go on to concede that own goal. Now, don't get me wrong. The players responsible for for that draw, which is as good as a defeat, should hang their heads in shame. Seriously. I mean, that was just absolutely dreadful defending for the worst part, quite lackadaisical. We didn't have any kind of control in the midfield. Zubi, once again, had a poor game. Where was he? He has a lot of work to do now. And the less said about our two winged blunders, not wonders, the better. Martinelli and Madueke, give me a break. I've kept saying, Rashid, that the only way I would even consider Bukayo Saka playing in the 10 is if somebody else were to play on the wing, because although I will give Madueke some credit for chipping in with 1 or 2 goals, he still doesn't quite have enough for me in terms of end product. Just like he fancies himself a big bad wolf, and true to form, he huffs and puffs, but he can't blow the house down. Hardly any end product from that. And it's just a case of more than anything else about how several of our much vaunted players are not standing up to be counted. But you could see as well the abject lack of rotation from Arteta means that so many of our players just literally, walking on crutches. It's disgusting. And some of our other players who were purchased in the summer have not even had a chance to impress themselves and impress the manager. Christian Norgard will be sitting on that bench and wondering, what the hell do I have to do to get some minutes? I should have come on at the G-Tech Stadium. That was my old stomping ground. I should have come on against Wolves. I would have played a role in seeing the game out. Instead, all I'm doing is playing in these rather, crummy cup ties against Portsmouth and Wigan, and I have no doubt I'll play against Mansfield in the next round. And that's fine in a way, but, if you don't value me enough to play a role in one of the big prizes, probably the biggest one you're after, although the Champions League is also big, why the hell did you buy me? Mikel Arteta has basically shown that he does not know how to manage a squad. He doesn't know how to manage any of his players on an individual basis. It won't be long, mind you, and this is the biggest fear I have. It won't be long before Bukayo Saka starts being ostracized, because you see a pattern as well with Mesut Ozil and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. These guys are also given big contracts on big money, but eventually they ended up being pushed out of the club by Arteta. They might have been partly to blame, but also the manager had a very big part in all of it too. And it just doesn't end well. And I've been speaking to a friend of mine with whom I'll actually be going on his watch along later, who told me that there might actually be rumours of a falling out between Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard. So when you have this sort of dysfunction in the camp right now, and Arteta is powerless to stop it, I mean, what sort of, what situation do we have? And I'm going to end it on this. And there is a Tottenham connection, and I don't know if either Jez or Jamboy or the doctor will agree with me on this. But we've heard, obviously, Ange Postecoglou speaking on the overlap, okay? And he was talking about how you know, Spurs are maybe a big club in name, but not a big club in actions. And he literally laid it into them. And if you take a look at that season where, due to some poor circumstances, a dreadful injury list, and among other things, they ended up finishing 17th. Let's face it, they were not in danger of being relegated, even if you were to consider how poor the relegated teams were. And they did have a chance of winning the trophy. So Ange was smart enough to decide, you know what? Let's go double or nothing. Let's try and win this trophy, get Champions League football. And he said it perfectly. Finishing second in the league won't change the club for the better. Only winning a trophy. And when he was sacked, mind you, there was almost a mutiny among the players because, yes, the players had a poor season in the league, but they rode the emotions well. They stuck together and they, you know, ended up winning that big trophy. And the significance of that was that they made us look like an even bigger laughingstock, and they still have a better European legacy than we do. So that was a manager there who was able to get the players to unite, to forget their differences, to come together for a common good. And when you hear him speak, you think to yourself, oh, you'd run through a brick wall for him. He was like a Winston Churchill. And now, as I keep saying, to quote Gareth Southgate, we've got an Ian Duncan Smith with us. Or, if you want a more contemporary example, a Kemi Badenoch, if you will. I just don't really know where we go from here. Like Jez, I'm confident of a win, and I'm going to predict a 2-1 win, because at this point, in a game like this, winning is a statement. I don't care about the performance. I just want to win. But a draw is definitely as good as a loss, and if we draw this, that's goodbye to the title. It's as simple as that. And I don't believe there is any way that we could possibly recover mentally or even physically from a failure to win this North London derby. And that's it for now.
Well said, man. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Big up. Apparently the first 11 is out. Big up to everyone. Big up Hector Rico saying unprecedented bottle, guys. Guna SE, you legend. Hey, Guna SE, I stole that shit. You know what I'm talking about. Big up. Paris Mandem is saying big up to every one of you. Big up to you, Hendon. Legends, absolute legends. Joseph is saying, who do you think? Well, now it's too late, isn't it? Who do you think will be the number 10 today? Eze, Havertz, Odegaard. Shit, man. Probably Eze. I feel like he's going to give Eze a chance. I swear to God, I didn't see the lineup yet. But I feel like Eze is going to get a chance today because of the, you know. Hendon is saying condolences. Big up to you. Big up, Brenny. Big up. Afternoon to you. Afternoon. If Arteta can beat this piss poor Spurs team, then there is no comeback for him. Listen, man, he'll continue. Let's be honest here. Do you want my honest opinion, or do you want me just to lie to you on the net? Let's be honest. Even if he loses this game, he'll still continue. And if he wins the Carabao Cup only, they'll tell you context, then he'll continue next season. I just don't see him. A lot of the mandem, a lot of the team are saying Arteta will get sacked if he doesn't win this league. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Hopefully he does. Clement is saying, I'm not excited about this NLD today. That's facts, bro. I'm usually excited, but I will say that anything less than 3 points isn't acceptable. I'm predicting a 2-2 draw. Me too, bro. But yeah, listen, Clement. Every game is a cup final. Let's be honest. Not just this game. This has extra. This is a post-Cold War. You know what I'm saying? These are post-Cold rivals. Do you know what I'm saying? So it makes it even. It gives it that little bit more. But every game is a cup final, and we've been dropping points left, right, and center these last couple of games. I mean, I wonder why. When we told them that this ain't sustainable, they didn't believe us. So okay, cool, whatever, man. Big up Abdulrahman. That must be my cousin. Big up to you, man. Benji saying my condolences. Big up to you, man. Big up. Johnny is saying, Johnny, you love this channel, bro. Tell him you love this channel. Come on, man. In the second half, we had 2 big chances. Shut up, we didn't have no 2 big chances. Mbappe go and the Martinelli counter. Martinelli is a shambles of a player. Oh, here we go. We're blaming players now. Everybody but, you hear that, Doc? Everybody but the players, the fan base, the hierarchy, everybody but him.
Yeah,
huh?
You know, it's everything.
The
everything
set-piece coach, the guy the throwing coach, everybody but him. Everybody but him, man. Ossie's saying, I went out this morning for breakfast down the cafe, and the top gooners were there. We're saying that Arteta need the same time as Wenger. 9 trophyless years. This is their narrative, new narrative, guys. Ozzy, I swear to God, yeah, and I'm guessing you're a Tottenham fan, but I know that we need a lot to get this guy out of this club. If he doesn't want to leave, that's a different story. If he wants to leave, it's a different story. But I know for a fact that if we win the Carabao Cup, they will forget about everything. Do you know what I'm saying? Which I don't think we'll win, but anyway, if we do, forget the title race now. Write that off. Whoa, we're 2 points clear. Why would I write it off? We're 2 points clear. I mean, since the start of the season, I've been hearing we had the best squad, we have the best midfield, we have the best defense, we have the best right winger in the world. So I'm sorry, bro. I'm not accepting anything but the league. Big up to you, man, Clement. Thank you, bro. Gunnets is saying, I know Liverpool steroids have worn off, but how have they not scored? Big up, man. Big up. Clement's saying, here's the lineup. Big up to you, man. Big up. Arteta hate university. Arsenal have to take 2 doors off the coupe. Take the water fluid as well. Big up, man. Big up. Goodness, he's saying win every game, home game, as well as every non-big 6-team away plus Spurs. Did you see the 6-team stats, by the way? We're not doing so well. We are not doing so well like everybody thinks. But it is what it is. Saka's back to right back, right wing people. Ryan saying big up there, man. Them. I hope for our sake we win. I'm tired of the same shit every day. Listen, man, you're gonna get the same shit. If they play to our hands, we win the game. If they don't, we don't have no plan B. Okay, Ryan. Right now I'm telling you, we don't have no plan B. There's no plan B. I'm telling you, time wasting could be the plan B. I'm not gonna watch this game. By the way, I will be here for the post-match reactions. I'm shielding myself. Damn, bro. That's sad. I can't lie. Darren Martin, big up to you, man. Legend. I'm not confident about a win today. I'm not even confident about a draw either. We've been here before, and we know Arteta cannot handle pressure. The bottle PTSD is so strong with this effing manager. This is the thing, Darren. They believed, right? They believed. And every time, even part of us are like, every time we try to believe, it just does not. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just time for him to go. Do you get it? It's time for him to go. But Jam Boy, how are we feeling? And how we feeling about that Wolves game, Jam? I mean, you're not wearing the shirt today, so I know how you feel. But I want you to tell the people them how you feel.
Yeah, first of all, condolences to Jez and his family. Sorry to hear that. That just puts into perspective that there's more to life than football. But on the side note, I'm as flat as you can get. I know it's not just me. There's a lot of fans out there. Arsenal dictate my moods. It's sad, really, because I wish it didn't. But I think that Wolves game, that was the nail in the coffin for me. I can't lie. It's irrelevant, this game today, whatever the score is. I don't think we're winning the league now. I think it was done when we drew and then lost to United 3-2. I think it was done then. I'm sorry if people don't like that, but I'm a realist. It's happening again. Sorry, it's happening again. I don't want it to, but it is. It's happening again, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm so flat. I don't even know what to say. And all these hypo gooners, seriously, mate. All this be positive, and look, every Arsenal fan could hold hands and pray to whatever God you believe in, and it won't have any outcome on what happens at the end of the season. It's not going to have any outcome on it. Don't matter how negative I am. Doesn't matter how positive anyone is. What will be will be. I've thrown the towel in. We're not winning the league. If we do, great. I'll be ecstatic. I just can't see it happening. That Wolves game was absolutely fucking horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I mean, how Martelli's still on the wall, I don't know. I lost it. I turned into a psycho at the end of that game. I was fuming. It's the same shit all the time. Like Jez says, this is a must-win game. He's correct. It is a must-win game. The Sunderland game was must-win. The Brentford game was must-win. Like every game, last 3-4 games have been must-wins, and we haven't won. It's happening again. And it is true PSTD. Absolutely 100%. I've thrown the towel in. It ain't happening. I'm sorry. It ain't happening. Tottenham, right? If I can remember off the top of me, because I checked it up.
Did you believe at one point, Jam?
Sorry?
Did you believe at one point?
I did. Do you know what? That's why I'm even more angry with myself, because I did let myself get sucked in, and I did think, yeah, I think we actually will this year. Something was going on. Something was happening. And I actually said to my neighbour, I said, I think we will win it this year, actually. And now all this is happening again. I think to myself, how can I let myself get sucked in? It's like having a bag of sweets and putting it in front of a kid. And then as he goes to take them, you just snatching them away and fucking off. That kid sat there upset because he ain't got his sweets. That's exactly what it's like. It's horrible. It's just, I can't believe I fell for it like an idiot. It's going to happen. And it will continue to happen until this manager's gone. And if the players do have to take some accountability as well, because when they get in that little huddle that they get in before and during the half time, somebody in that team needs to say, if we're 1-0 up and he's told us that we've got to just shut them out and not concede goals, one of them's got to say, fuck what he says. Let's go and get the second and third goal. Fuck what he says. But none of them will. And these are the players that he brings in, because the ones that do as they're told. And you ain't winning league titles with little fucking puppies. You ain't winning league titles. Tottenham, right, this season have played 19 home games in all competitions. They've won 7. In the Premier League, they've won 2. That was the first game of the season against, was it Burnley or Bournemouth? I can't remember. They won 3-0, and they won on the 6th of December against Brentford 2-0. They're the only 2 games they've won in the league at home this season. And we're the best team in the league. We're not. We're there by default. We've been the best of a shit lot. But what's happening now is we're falling off, and Man City are picking up. And like what was it? We're 5 points clear. We were never 5 points clear before City played Newcastle. We were 5 points ahead. They've played and won, which was guaranteed. It's now 2 points. It's a joke. We should be 10 points clear at least, and it's all because this manager sitting back with 1-0 leads and not going into kill teams and setting up defensively. He's an absolute prick. I can't stand him. I cannot stand the geezer. I'm sick of it. Do you know, I hate, not all of them, hate's a strong word. I dislike a huge portion of Arsenal fans more than I do any other club's fans. I'm sick to death of them online. They talk absolute bollocks and don't see reality. Don't see reality. Honestly, I'm in a foul mood, mate. I'm in a foul mood. I'm sick of it. I'm fucking tired of it, mate. Honestly, I'm sorry, but I feel really, really negative at the moment. Very.
As you should, Jam. As you should, bro. Especially the people that believed. You know, that's the thing. Doc. I mean, a large portion of this fan base was believing. I mean, we were 9 points at one point. Was it 9 points? Unfortunately, we're back to square one. 2 points is not enough. You, me, everyone here knows. Even the top gooner knows. Let's be honest. We're back to square one, basically, Doc. What do we do from here? And how you been doing, obviously?
Well, first and foremost, big up to you. Big up to everyone here on the panel in the chat, and condolences as well. You know, for your loss, Jezza. You know, there's an old saying quoted by George W. Bush, you know, that fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, can't get fooled again. You know, I have seen this club time and again over a span of decades at this point. I mean, like I think there's been at least six instances where we were top of the league and like by Christmas and New Year's Eve, and then we had succumbed to an extraordinary amount of complacency and completely bottled it. We have seen better teams do this, rather better Arsenal squads, shall I say? You know, like whether it was in 2002, 2003, whether it was in 2007, 2008, whether it was in 2013, 2014, whether it was in 2015, 2016, and even some of the squads that we had previously where we were playing a better style of football in 22, 23 and 23, 24. You know, like every single year, you know, I don't want to speak for anyone. I don't want to speak for anyone else, but at least for myself, every single year, the only thing I want are two things: either for this manager to depart, because I never wanted him to begin with. I never wanted him here as a player, let alone as a manager. So this shit runs deep with me because I still have not forgiven this club for replacing Cesc Fabregas with Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, I can't lie. I didn't want him as a player too.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And you know, and as I've mentioned before, like this manager is traumatized and rattled to the core. His entire experience at Arsenal is defined by capitulation. Whether it was those 2 years in 2013, 2014, and 2015, 2016, when he was playing for us, and he has now repeated the same mistakes over and over again. And as life always says, you know, like people are doomed to repeat history if they, or people are doomed to repeat mistakes if they fail to learn from their history. And you know, here we are again. You know, we were top of the league at Christmas, top of the league in New Year's Eve, you know, top of the Champions League table, you know, oh, we're all flying, you know, oh, everyone's walking out, you know, quad talks, you know, like in November. And it's the same reoccurring pattern of complacency that this fan base still has not gotten. It is still struggling to realize that, you know, that until we see armpits lifting up silverware, nothing is guaranteed, especially when you have a manager who is as volatile and as incompetent as Mikel Arteta. You know, like we don't have to reinvent the wheel here either. You know, we have seen the tactics that do work. We have seen tactics that don't work. This manager is doubling down on tactics that don't work. And at a certain point in time, that luck is going to run out. Whether it's a matter of, you know, like shithousing your way to a 1-0 victory due to like a set piece or an own goal, that luck is going to dry out. And for time on end during the first half of the season, people were talking about, oh, well, you know, just wait until our attack clicks. It's already the end of February and the attack is still not clicking. You know, like the warning signs, the writing on the wall has been so present, and yet people have been so devoted to ignore the writing on the wall. I had said from the onset, we were not winning anything this year. I'm still under the belief that we're not going to be winning anything this year, simply because we could bring in any player in the world. You could give this manager the top 20. You give this manager like the last 25 years of the Ballon d'Or winners, and he would still find a way to lose. It is, you know, at the end of the day, while the players do hold a little bit of responsibility, and they should be taking things on their own accord while they're on the pitch, we also know simultaneously how much of a control freak this manager is. And if any player were to stray outside of Mikel's directions, they would be sent to the dungeon, and we wouldn't see them for another for another month, 2 months, 3 months. Like, this manager has very specific and rigid tactics, very specific and rigid directions, and if you do not adhere to them, you are shit out of luck. I'm not looking forward to today. I'm really not. You know, like I'm also watching like the Forest score because I do believe that if Forest do find a way to to get past Liverpool, it is going to put more onus on Spurs to get a result. Just because teams at this stage of the season now are fighting for their life, trying to avoid relegation, and And Spurs are down there. You know, like a win would at the moment like bring them up like to what 14th. You know, like they would be happy to do that, and even furthermore, they would be happy to derail any shot at rather like any shot for us to get over the line and win the league title. It's I mean like this is probably like their largest game like of the season right now. So I know that they're going to be up for it. And supposedly our players are up for it, just because they had a very sternly worded meeting after the Wolves game. So again, there shouldn't be any excuses. And for anyone, it is past the pale of comprehension. I mean, we're either talking about some of the flimsiest spines across humanity, or just straight up like Stockholm syndrome. But anyone saying that we need to give Arteta the length that we had, that we had allowed Wenger to go trophyless for 9 years, that is not a benchmark to mimic or copy. For some reason, people are still out here like recycling mediocrity, protecting a manager who is going to go down in sport history, not just football history, sport history. He's going to go down as the only manager that has had so much time and all of this money and all of this patience and all of this unquestioned authority at the club and all of this unquestioned support by his cult fan base, still hasn't won a damn thing, and they want to give him a job. This does not happen at any other place of employment on the face of the fucking earth. Pardon my French. And the fact that there's even a conversation like that just shows like how tapped we are. So I'm here to tell you this: like, if we don't win anything this season, which I am expecting to, because again, like the Arteta tariff weighs heavy. The Arteta tariff weighs heavy. If the owners do not greenlight sacking Arteta after we go trophyless again, they are on the chopping block as well. Like enough dilly-dallying, enough pussyfooting around. We are over 2 decades without winning the league title, and people love to talk about how illustrious of a history we have, like how large of an institution in football we are across the globe. Big clubs win silverware, and even furthermore, big clubs are not only winning silverware actively, they are winning the major honors on a frequent basis. And the fact, and we're about to go, we're about to do the quad of going of finishing fourth. Of finishing second 4 times in a row. No, it's absolutely cooked. So much like Clement in the chat earlier today, I'm also expecting it too.
Fair enough. Darren Sullivan's saying that huddle is pathetic. Stop if you have to motivate yourself. Okay, the pitch, you're done. You should be angry in the dressing room before you come out. AFC saying when the season started, I didn't get carried away because I've seen this before and now it's happening again. Dropping points and have City 20 points behind us. Time to move Arteta on. But that's the thing. Arteta, when he started the season and when we saw that this was not sustainable, this was something you should have used. This tactic or whatever football he's playing should have been used in pre-season. So we look at it, evaluate our options, be like, you know what, we should go with something else. This is really not working. That's football. You don't just go in every season with a different style. Gunes is saying the reason why he switched back to 4-3-4 because 4-2-3-1 didn't work because he sat back like a coward instead of pushing on for another goal. You know why he's not pushing on, bro? He doesn't want to commit that amount of players to the attack and then be opened up. That's all it is. But the thing is that the more coward you are, the more points you're going to lose because you can draw a certain amount of points. Last season we drew a certain amount of games. Was it 13 games? I think it was 9 of them were from winning positions, something like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Now Johnny D's going to be like, no, technically it was 14. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, seriously, bro. I completely disagree with that. I think it's the best defense league in the history of England. 5 teams, top 8. Well, I don't know what you're talking. Nossa saying the days this manager leaves, it will be one of the best days in my life, bro. We're gonna have a party, bro. We're gonna have a party when this guy leaves. Joseph, Jones, top 2 teams, big up. This is all between you guys. All between you. Akers saying good father Jez, thoughts and prayers. Darren is saying shit player turned shit manager. Facts. Let's not forget our manager used to be the forfeit button on FIFA. Big up Blacks, bro. Big up Blacks. He's always got jobs. Johnny's saying you never wanted him as a player, but you celebrated when he scored. That's the thing. This is stupid. This is stupid. If I didn't want him as a player and then he scores, it's just one game in 38. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, this, you can't be serious, Johnny. You can't be serious. Usually you're better than that.
You're gonna celebrate you're gonna celebrate if Arteta scores when he's playing for Arsenal because it's benefiting Arsenal.
Exactly.
Not because it's benefiting him.
He's trying to say, oh, but he did score, as in he was there for a big moment. Yeah, but that was one moment. That doesn't count. But Topside is saying Arteta will shortly enter his Tony Montana barcade in his mansion phase. Facts, yeah. I say hello to my little friend. Hey, shit, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy, bro. Big up Blacks. That was good. I can't lie. AFC's saying, watch Timber burn out the game again, like against Wolves. 100%, man. Akers, big up to you, man. Big up to everyone. Nobody said we should give Arteta 9 years without a trophy. We just wrote it in the comments. We just read it in the comments. Big up Puerto Rico, bro. I have heard people we should give Arteta more chances if we don't win. Oh man. Johnny's saying, damn, didn't think of that, Cord. Facts.
That's why
bro.
Arteta's still in a job, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
Because the fan base are absolute fucking soft asses.
100%, man. 100%. No, it's true. It's true, bro. Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Jalil was saying Vicario, Gray, Dragson, Van de Ven, Spence, Bissouma, Paulinho, Sarr, Gallagher, Simmons. Damn, bro. How many midfielders they got? Muani. Do you know what I'm saying? Wow. Raya saying Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Nkape, Zubamendi, Rice, Eze, Saka, Trossard, Gyökeres. I got it right. I knew Eze was going to get a chance. I knew it, bro. But that's the thing. It's the same old football. It's the same old team. It does not matter. You think putting Saka back to right wing is the answer. You feel like Trossard, that's been inconsistent, is the answer. Eze, whether you like it or not, in that midfield. Listen, man, you've got Zubamendi and Rice playing like dog shit since the start of January. Let's be honest. Since the start of the New Year's, they've been dog shit. And like, I'm gonna be honest, yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think you can play Rice against a team that parks the bus or plays the low block. I feel like that stops us from creating more and more chances. You know, because Rice ain't gonna find that pass. Let's be honest here. He ain't gonna find no pass, bro. And then you've got Eze. He's just running around like a headless chicken. There's nothing really coming from his side. And then you got the rest. It's the same Zubamendi side to side. You've got Trossard, Saka, both want ball to the feet. Then you got Gyökeres in the box, just spamming crosses to Gyökeres. And that's just not his game, bro. And we go back to that. We revert to type. But it is what it is. Jez, I mean, you saw the lineup now. First of all, give us a little bit of a historic, you know what I'm saying, events when it comes to these to this big game. And then you've seen the lineup. What's your thoughts right now? What's your thoughts about this?
It looks to me that Tottenham are going to flood that midfield. Yeah. And that's a good tactic for them. Because let's be honest, our midfield's not performing very well. If we've got Zubamendi, Rice, Eze in that position, none of them are playing well right now. That's a worry. That is a worry. The thing is that he always reverts to type Arteta, 4-3-3, right? If they flood the midfield, then they're going to overrun us, which is going to be a big, big issue for us. Yeah, that worries me, seeing that now. The defence, I ain't got a problem with that defence. I mean, we know that's a good defence. Although, the other night, Timber was bloody awful.
Yeah.
He needs to step up today. That is for bloody certain, man. But look, look. I was saying the North Side yesterday afternoon with Kenny and Shano. You know, this game. It's if you're from London, North London, Arsenal, whether you're Arsenal, whether you're Tottenham, this is the game of the season, home and away. It's the big one, right? Yes, I'd be the first to say they're not competition-wise. No, that's not the right word. Tottenham aren't our biggest rivals in trophies, although they have recently won a European trophy.
But don't you think we can have multiple rivals, Jez? I believe in multiple rivals. I just feel like they are postcode rival.
This is tribal. That's the difference. This is
local rivals. Yeah,
the difference between Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea. If you want to bring Chelsea into that in more recent 20 years, but this one goes back time in immemorial. You know, this game, this goes back to the 20s, right? It's always been a contentious fixture, something that certain Arsenal teams over the years, especially in the 90s, 2000s, early 2000s, it was just inbred. You didn't lose to Tottenham. You know, you remember the great Tony Adams when he reputedly at the old White Hart Lane had Lee Dixon up against the wall. It was his debut in a Tottenham game, right? And he held him up against the wall and he said, we do not lose this game. We do not lose to Tottenham. Another classic one. If you've ever read George Graham's book, right? Tottenham at Highbury. Yeah. He'd done his pre-team talk in the changing room. Players about to go out. Patrick Vieira. No, sorry, not Patrick Vieira. Tony Adams turned round and said, forget what he's just seen. What he's just said, you do what I say. And Arsenal went out and won the game 3-1. Now, I don't think modern players get it because a lot of these players, not their fault, they're from abroad. They don't get the passion. They don't understand the passion. And I have to tell you, a lot of Arsenal fans that are at that game today don't get it. They don't get it. They're
100.
But Jez, we had to, not to cut you off, but like we had Thierry Henry that was from abroad, and we had Vieira and players like that, and they got it.
Petit, Pires, yeah.
You know,
totally different player, mate. Totally different class. Totally different level. Right? We got a lot of players here are shit. Let's not put it lightly. Right? We've bought them. There's a couple of players there today I think are absolute dog shit. Personally, I think their time is done, and we got to go with what we got, and that I blame for Arteta. He's got some of these players in, and he doesn't utilise them in the correct manner. But we've got to go with what we got to go with, and I just hope these players today know that there is massive pressure now. Man City are sitting 2 points behind us. They're all going to be sat at home in their luxury homes, right? Feet up, watching this game. They're going to be watching very, very closely because, let's put it honest, a lot of people have been saying to me this season, Pep Guardiola's finished. He's done. Is he bollocks? That's a proper world-class manager. Look what he's doing. He's pulled them up. They're sitting behind us. The vultures waiting to pounce. And you all know, guys, yeah, when we've got certain YouTubers, right, making themselves out to be big Arsenal fans, yet they were supporting Tottenham against Man City. 2 seasons ago. I'm sorry, that don't happen. That does not work. That does not land with me. Yeah, and they're sitting there supporting. I mean, the biggest Arsenal fan tube out there supporting fucking Tottenham. You having a giraffe? Seriously? You would have to stand up and say, oh, well, we want Tottenham to win and we want them to beat Man City to stop Man City winning the title. Fuck off. That if you I swear down, if you'd said that years ago at Highbury, mate, you'd have been done right over.
Cheers. How did you feel about it? Was it more you wanted Man City to lose rather than say you want Tottenham to win?
I wanted Man City to lose. I wasn't going to support.
Exactly, yeah. And you wouldn't go on channels saying, "Oh, come on, Tottenham," and be cheering Tottenham as a big Arsenal fan channel. No, it's disgusting.
No chance.
You detach yourself. You detach yourself. That's what you do.
Yeah, you don't make it known that you want Tottenham to win. No.
Publicly,
you said you want City to lose. That's fine, but don't say say you want Tottenham to win.
I actually did say. I think it was on Lee's show. We were talking. It was the night before the game or something like that. And Lee said to me, Jez, who do you want to win tomorrow? I said, well, I actually want Man City to lose.
Yeah.
I said, I ain't supporting Tottenham.
Yeah.
No.
You know, no chance. Never. It just don't.
Good answer.
Oh, no, it doesn't happen. If you're from Eden 5, mate, that don't happen. Never. Christ, my granddad would have turned in his grave if I'd said that.
Yeah. Probably.
Seriously.
And also to that point, when we look back in the day, like when we had players that could, grab the game, grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Arteta doesn't like those players. In fact, his entire transfer policy has been to remove those players from our from our club and bring in replacements that are more easily malleable and more impressionable. And what he has done in the result, he has provided all the things that he has learned for the most part. It's things that he hasn't learned, but he has taught this squad how to be soft. He has taught this squad how to be rather how to capitulate and how to make excuses. And and just the other day, after we had dropped points to Wolves, I honestly did not care for anything that Declan Rice had to say. Mate, buddy, we rate you, you're a quality player, but stop playing this whole Arteta sexual narrative. Demonstrate to us on the pitch that you have what it takes. Give us something to cheer for. A lot of us have been absolutely gaslit and traumatized by this club that has failed to get over the line. And they want us to there has to be something to support outside of just completely unadulterated backing of something that is not working.
Yeah, I think a lot of our players, and he wants players that are intimidated by him.
Oh
yeah. He's a dictator.
So
that's what it is.
Manipulate them.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's what I see. I see a load of weak-minded players.
They're just happy to be here, Jam. Do you know what it is? Not to cut you off, but they're just happy to be here. Let's be honest, yeah. Apart from 3 players in this team, nobody really is going to play in a team that's better than Arsenal. Right.
Could you imagine Roy Keane in his prime playing for Arteta right now? That's never happening. Never in a million years. He's getting rid of him straight away.
Go on, sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it don't matter that he could be the one to help us get over the line mentally and win us a league title. It's all about me. You go and it jeopardises the club. He got rid of Aubameyang, who was banging goals left, right, and centre. He might have gone a bit shit, but he put him out on the left wing, didn't he? And let him track him back to the corner flag.
A 34-year-old, by the way. A 34-year-old.
Aubameyang, right now, if it was down to me, I had to choose between Gyökeres right now and Aubameyang would be starting up front still to this day, front for Arsenal.
And the irony of it all is Arteta is not Arteta is not a strong person, or rather he's not even he's not someone to be intimidated by. That's
I know what you mean. Go with it, Doc. Go with it.
Yeah, like I mean, like it absolutely doesn't make any sense. Because mind you, so like for example, like Zinedine Zidane, right? That is someone like who commands intimidation just because like he was an absolute legend of the game, like and also is proven to be like a quality manager as well. But Arteta, like his entire legacy is failure and capitulation. Like why would people be intimidated by someone so soft like that? That's crazy.
He's got so much power. He's got so much power in this club, and he can get rid of you with not even a moment's. He wouldn't even think about it. He would sleep at night like a baby. Why? Is because this club has gave him so much power to this manager that what I don't understand is what I do understand is that these players are just happy to be here because they cannot get any contract anywhere better than where they are right now if they want to compete. Obviously, if you want to go to Saudi, that's a different ball game. But I'm talking about if you want to compete in Europe's the elites and win the Champions League and go for the Ballon d'Or, you are not going to play for a team better than Arsenal. Apart from maybe Gabriel, Saliba, and Rice. That's it. Or Timber. That's about it. You got like 3 players that are world class, and the rest are just average that can't even play better than okay, even if they're not average, they can't play for a better team than Arsenal. Let's just put it there. That's basically it. I mean, Manny, we're talking about how Arsenal. By the way, I just got a text from Shane talking about Ben White not being on the bench, and how he was injured against Wigan, and Odegaard being on the bench, and he's still injured. Let's be honest. This manager has injured players. Got us nowhere in the journey to any competition that we went for the past season, for the past years. I mean, Manny, you're looking at the lineup right now. Half of these players are injured. Let's be honest, but you're looking at the lineup. You've seen Tottenham have overrun the midfield. They've overloaded the midfield. They're going with the back 5 or a 3 or a 3-5-2 basically, and they're just packing up that midfield just to beat us and maybe catch us on the counter. I'm just guessing here. What's your thoughts, man? You've seen the lineups.
Yeah, listen, first of all, it's funny you speak about injuries. Not funny, really. It's a segue into this piece of news I've just gotten from BBC Sport Online. It's from our women's team. Arsenal forward Olivia Smith was taken up on a stretcher during our 3-0 victory over Bristol City in the Women's FA Cup. She was involved in a clash of heads early on the second half, which led to a lengthy pause in play and 14 minutes of second half stoppage time. She was carried off the pitch, having been fitted with a neck brace to a standing ovation inside the stadium. And Smith is, of course, our second joint top scorer in all competitions with 8 goals. And it definitely looked like a very serious injury sustained on the field. And I hope she makes a full recovery and, comes back at her own time. And the best part is that knowing Renee Slagers as well as I do, she won't rush her back, no matter how important she is. The same cannot be said about this fraud for a manager that we have right now. And I'm glad you spoke about Ben White, Rashid, because, a lot of people were talking about how, Jurrien Timber has suddenly let his standards slip a little bit, but that's also due to, a dip in form due to being overused. And this segues back into, this talk about how can you complain about having an amazing, amazing squad if you aren't willing to rotate your players perfectly enough and make sure that you understand when they need to have their rest. As much as we dislike Jose Mourinho because of his Chelsea, Tottenham, and Manchester United connections, he always knew how to get the best out of his squad. He said that there would be moments when certain starters would, need to be given a rest, and some people would come on and then play, and that's why it was always important to have 2 great players in every position. And the only exception, of course, was the goalkeeper, because you don't rotate goalkeepers very often. But he still wanted to keep Carlo Cudicini along with Petr Cech, even if it meant Cudicini would hardly get any games and therefore not be eligible for a Premiership winners' medal. That's Lakin football, he would say. Well, if I were Cudicini, I would have told him to go, do one and say, I'm not going to stick around and let the best years of my career fade away so that you can realise your wet dream of having 2 great players for every position, find someone else. But then that is how you maintain a big squad and manage them effectively to make sure that everyone feels, important, and that everyone is making a serious contribution to the team, rather than simply being glorified cheerleaders sitting on the bench. I mean, some players who hardly at all get to play, you might as well replace them with wax statues from Madame Tussauds if you will. It's that bad. It's absolutely awful. Now, the sad thing about Benny Blanco is that he was, in position to start today, because I believe that this would have been a game where, that sort of, I mean, as much as I may not really rate him as a defender, he is very, very good going forward. And he has that little, snarly, niggly sort of character that you want in a North London derby. And I'm pretty sure that our panel would agree with me on this. But if he is indeed injured and not even fit enough to make the bench, and that just goes to show, if he was carrying an injury all this time, why was he on the bench? How could you possibly be so oblivious and so negligent and so nonchalant to the condition of your squad that you would ignore and neglect things like this? And keeping injured players on the bench and expecting them to, play some part. It's bad enough that he plays some players through injury. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just poor management. Now, you take a look at a team like Aston Villa, who've had huge limitations placed on their squad by PSR and what have you. One or two of their players, including one-time Arsenal target Ollie Watkins, I think are playing through some niggles, and, they will definitely need some rest. But what excuses do we have? We've got all the money in the world. We supposedly spent wisely. We reinvested in the squad, and we have supposedly the best squad. And even now, there's no sign of Christian Norgard starting this game, for Pete's sake. I'd have literally binned Zubamendi and told him to go and find himself and then start doing some work again. See me do my backside. And, all it is more than anything else. And don't get me started on Calafiori. I think he was supposed to be injured, so he couldn't even take part in the game against Wigan. I think he got injured in the warm-up, which is why Lewis Skelly had to be moved to left back. But then you bring him back against Wolves and he concedes an equaliser and he's on the bench. Nothing this manager does makes any kind of sense to me. That's all I'm going to say right now. And with Zubamendi in that midfield, I take a look at the lineup right now and I see that Palhinha is in the centre of midfield, and that is really what they need to do, because Spurs are down to the bare bones in their defence, and they probably don't have more than two fit central defenders right now, both of whom are starting, Dragusin and Van der Ven. I think on the bench, can't really find a defender that can come on, to be honest with you. So Igor Tudor might not have been a very successful manager so far, but he's no fool. He knows that you cannot play the formation you want if you don't have the players you want. So he's gone with a back four with Dragusin and Van der Ven in the centre of the defence. Had he considered playing a 3-4-3, he'd have had to move Palhinha back. And this chap Palhinha is a bulldog. Okay, I can just see him ripping Zubamendi and you. Very aggressive in the tackle, and he really will definitely dictate the terms over here and how he will. And he and Gallagher will deal with Zubamendi and Rice, and then I think Eze should get the better of Yves Bissouma. But this is setting up to be not an easy game. Had Tudor gone with a 3-4-3, it would have played into our hands, just like it did at the Emirates, mind you. But, and big up to my friend Danny, also a big Arsenal fan. He's doing a watch-along tonight for the game. And
how you doing, Manny? How you doing, both?
Yeah, so I'm going to say this right now. This isn't going to be an easy game, and the lineups have just confirmed that. Now, of course, Spurs' forward line is nothing to be excited about. I mean, Xavi Simons has, like Katy Perry would say, blown hot and cold. Pape Matar has had his moments too. And as for Kolo Muani, I think it's fair to say that our former goalkeeper has given him a very bad case of PTSD. The man still can't really find his feet. So, look, the thing is, the midfield battle will probably be very interesting, and we need to make sure that we win the midfield battle. And I think with Zubamendi in that midfield, I'm not confident. This should have been the game for Norgard to at least start, but I at least want to see him come off the bench. If he doesn't come off the bench, that is gross negligence, incompetence, and malfeasance from the manager. And I can go on and on with all of these names. So I'm still confident in a 2-1 win, but how we start is going to be key, and it's going to be very important that we, really start well. But had White not been injured, he definitely would have started today. I think Danny might disagree with me, and we talk about this a lot. But I would say, looking at this lineup right now that we've got, it's probably, perhaps decidedly, at least marginally, the best one we could pick. Although I don't want to see Zubimendi there, but we all know that that he's Arteta's blue-eyed boy. This 4-3-3 that Spurs have got, I don't see them causing too much. I don't see them causing too much trouble. I do like Jed Spence as a left back or a left wing back, but I don't really rate Conor Gallagher that much. And we need to really start getting into them. We need to take the terms and not allow them to dominate us in the midfield. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very, very long time. Let me tell you.
100%, man. 100%. Well said. Well said. Jamboy, I mean, you've seen the lineup, bro. Are we positive? Are we feeling positive with this lineup? Or is it just the same lineup, same game, same tactics, same system?
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. To be honest with you, looking at that team, I would say 3 of our players can, I would say, are 100% fit. And that would be Raya, Zubimendi and Gyökeres. They're the only 3 I could probably say are fully fit. Rice is running on fumes. Saka's gone. Trossard, injured or not, I think he's rubbish. His time's up. He's done. Hincapie, I mean, he's been injured a lot recently. Gabriel and Saliba have looked edgy the last few games. Like, Timber's done. I mean, like I said earlier, if we win this game, I still don't think we win the league. But you've got to do your job. You've got to go out and beat Tottenham. They're shocking at home this season. I don't care what new manager they've just got in. You've got to win this game. You've got to be going and winning this game. I don't really know what else to say, mate. I'm a bit. My head's a bit all over the place at the moment. I'm hoping we win the league, right? Because I want to go on the what's the thing up London, the parade.
Yeah, the
I want
parade.
there to be a parade so that I can go up London and meet a lot of the people that are in the chat, a lot of people that come on panels. Yeah. I just want to meet all the guys, And the thought of that not happening is disheartening me a bit, because I really want to meet. There's a lot of people in these chats, whether it be on Shane's or in DJB or whatever. There are a lot of people that I've connected with, and I've really got a lot of time for, and I don't even know what they look like. So I would love it. I'd love it if we could just get a parade, but just the League Cup ain't enough. It ain't enough. Honestly, I'm sorry about today, guys. I feel really shit. I feel really low.
That's all right.
And I just want us to win big trophies. It's been too long. But I appreciate you having me on, mate, as always. It's just the best game of football I've ever seen. It was a 5-4 against Tottenham.
Okay.
White Hart Lane. 9 different goal scorers. That game was unreal. I couldn't care less how many goals we concede as long as we're winning the game. That was fun football. It was fun. It was good to watch. It was entertaining. We come out on the right end of it. With Tottenham Arsenal games, they tend to, the form goes out the window, and we tend to get the better of them. But it don't always go that way. I mean, the draw today, it's done. It's done. Got to win. Got to win.
I mean, Jam, you said that we tend to get away with it, or we tend to beat Tottenham. But why is everyone here and in the chat feeling a bit? I think only Jez is a bit positive, but everybody else is a bit, either it's a draw or a loss. I mean, not a lot of people say loss, but most people are saying draw. Why? Why do you think so? Why do you think that?
Because of the form that we're in at the moment. It's just when I always say it, when the time hits, when the real pressure moment starts, that's when you start seeing us falter. And I mean, Gabriel, right? Gabriel, as much as I said it on Shane's member stream the other day, as much as I rate Gabriel and think he's come a long way since his bozo times, last few games, he's been a bit rattled. He's been a bit bozo-y. Now, people are calling for him to be captain, or Rice. I'd have Rice, and I was saying Gabriel was vice captain. Now, is Gabriel feeling the pressure? Is he feeling the pressure a little bit? He looks. I mean, a lot of the players look shaky. They've looked shaky last few games. Is it fatigue? Are they burnt out?
Jan, let me cut right in. I think that Manchester United defeat has probably taken a bit out of us because, I criticise Gabriel at times. Yes, he's a good defender, but sometimes, you know how we often say that your attitude determines your altitude? That bloke has a bit of a mouth on him, and he can be a bit of a copy kid at times. And he gives a big chest when things are going well, the seeing when you're winning sort of bloke. But when he faces pressure, when he faces pressure, he can't handle it. And you remember that pocket celebration when we beat Aston Villa at the Emirates. We have a knack of doing well when we make it personal. We wanted to make it personal against Villa. We made it personal, and that's what we did. And you could see how he did. But when Harry Maguire really showed him, what a tough man it's like, Gabriel couldn't hack it. And Gabriel's refusal to shake hands with Maguire at the end of the game, I think that was just disgraceful. Because yes, you have to be, and I'm sure Jez will agree with me that there's no way that Tony Adams or the other great captains of the past would ever have been allowed to get away with that sort of tomfoolery. You compete really hard on the field, you give it your all, and at the end of the game, you shake your opponent's hand and say, "Well played." Now, whether or not you want to go out for them with them for a drink or a meal, I mean, that's another matter. But basic sportsmanship and decency are always paramount. And Gabriel showed that he didn't have that, and he didn't like it when he got it stuck up him. What a crybaby! And
it's childish.
And it's not as bad as William Gallas against Birmingham, but that was the moment when we let the pressure get to us that season, and it really torpedoed our season. And this particular match could very well be what sent us into this tailspin. And this is another reason why I don't want to see Gabriel even considered as a leader, because if he's not willing to handle that pressure and maintain that level of decorum and decency after the game and be just, an arrogant, prat, for want of a nicer word. I don't want this fella captaining my team. He doesn't have any class. Jez always laments, we used to be a classy club. Now we're not anymore. And I don't want that git captaining my team. And if he has another poor season, I wouldn't mind getting rid of him, to be honest with you.
Certainly to your point with respect to pressure, we know how much pressure this manager is on, considering that he is, on the verge of being the only manager across sport history to have spent this much 1-0 and still have a job. But imagine what the players are thinking as well. They are probably having not only the same level of PTSD that we are as fans, but simultaneously, they are under massive pressure, thinking that their entire footballing career legacy is going to be shaped and defined by capitulation. If and when we do finish trophyless this season, they're going to have to do so. They're going to have to do such great psychological rehabilitation to get over the hump that they have finished second 4 times in a row. That is going to be so damaging in and of itself that they may believe that they aren't able to get over the line as an individual, let alone as a team. I mean, it has again, all of this trauma has been passed down from the manager, manager at the top all the way down.
Fact. Yeah.
Big up, Ola.
Fair enough. Facts.
Yeah, man. Big up, man.
Big up, Ola.
Big up, Ola.
Salute.
I mean, we can see that Tottenham. Big up to you, first of all. We can see that Tottenham have overloaded that midfield, and you can see, our lineups the same. You don't need me to you don't need me to read out the lineup. How are we feeling about this game?
First of all, salute to everybody on the panel. Big up yourself, Jez. The rest of the man, them salute to you. I see you, Doctor. Big up. And the chat as well. Look, Tottenham, they've opted for legs, bro. Because if you look at all the games that we've dropped points in, you just need to match us physically. You match us physically, you got a shot, you got a chance. And I didn't think at this stage of the season, because of how we've been throughout the season, I didn't think this was going to be, a point that where people are going to be looking to capitalize on it and stuff like that. Bro, it's going to be a tough afternoon. I'm not going to lie. This manager's had 12 days to work with Spurs before this game. So it's not like one of those other kind of manager appointments where between 2 or 3 days they already got a game, or he's got to sit in the stands and watch from there to try and see what the players are going to do. They know what he's working with. He's had 12 days to work with these guys, and that makes it even more difficult considering what's at stake for them and what's at stake for us. And Bissouma is one of those players that I thought is a lost player for Tottenham, and all of a sudden is back in the squad today, and he's going to be looking to show this new manager the reason why he shouldn't have been banished from the squad all this time. He could have that Kobe Mainoo effect. The same thing for Tottenham, the same way Kobe got banished from the United squad. So I'm not taking this game lightly. If Frank was still there, maybe we'll be feeling a little bit extra confident. But we don't know what this guy brings. We don't know what this guy is. What injection is going to bring into the Tottenham team. And I think today is even a bigger pressure game than the game that we just played against Wolves. It's even a bigger pressure game because it's North London Derby. That carries a pressure by itself. The stakes, we're trying to win the league. They try not to get relegated. So, I mean, Forest is going to be hoping we'll help him out today, considering they just lost to Liverpool in the fashion that they lost to Liverpool. I thought they were really, really unlucky with the what looks like an offside goal, but that's besides the point. We need to go and handle our business today. And looking at how City played yesterday, they look like they got their tails up, and we better be ready. I think we got a fight on our hands, and a lot of our fans up until now been like, oh yeah, nobody's really testing us, even though we're leaving the door open. Nobody's really doing nothing about it. The rest of the league is dead. This, that, and the other. We got our wish now. We got our wish now, because if we didn't want to fight on our hands, well, we got one, and we better roll our sleeves up, because I can't cope. I don't know about you guys. I can't cope with 4 seconds in a fucking row, bro. Like, I'm not built for that. I've never been here before. I've never been here before. I don't know how I'm gonna be. 4 seconds in a row, bro. That's gonna send my head into fucking Mars, man. I'm telling you. But bro, today we definitely. This is not one of them seasons where we're begging Spurs. Or fans are hoping, can first Spurs do us a favor to go and win the league? We have to take charge of things. You know what I mean? We have this situation in our hands. Only us can fuck it up. You know what a lot of our fans they did say as well. Big up to all those guys that said it. Only Arsenal can stop Arsenal from winning this fucking league, bro. Yeah. Only Arsenal could stop Arsenal.
Arteta can stop Arsenal. Only Arteta.
Well, I did say a few people say Arsenal could win this league in spite of us, in spite of Arteta. I've also seen that take.
Do you believe that, Ollie?
Players they won't go against it. They won't go against him.
Do you believe that, Ola, that we can win this league despite of Arteta?
I mean, it looked like it, because I thought the players had something about them the earlier part of the season. I thought everybody was singing from the same hymn shit, and Arteta could have been in the stands for a lot of those games, and we probably would have still come up with some fantastic results, because the team was playing so well. We weren't even conceding shots, let alone conceding goals. That's how we were moving earlier part of the season, right? But when you look at the way things are right now, Arteta tinkering with the team, he don't know where to play Saka, he don't know what to do with that number 10 spot. You don't know. I mean, if it stuck with Eze the same way it stuck with Kai Havertz, the earlier when he first signed Kai Havertz, maybe he might have had some clarity on what to do with that position. But this is a manager that's got pattern and history of always tinkering with players, not knowing what to do with certain players, key players that he spent big money on, because he did the same thing with Kai Havertz. He didn't know where to play him. When he bought Willian, he didn't know what to do with him, but he just persisted playing him in the same place, beating the dead horse up until Willian had enough and said, "Yo, you know what? I'm out of here." And then Willian goes somewhere else, and then you see the same sort of Willian again that he tried to sign. So a lot, the manager has to show that, you know, some of the responsibilities on how we've been playing recently, and the players got to look at themselves as well. I'm not absolving the players from any of this evil, man, because they are the ones on the field of play. And if I'm going to give them credit that they, you know, we were going to win a lot of these games in spite of the manager, then I got to give the same energy to the players, that they got to take some of this smoke as well. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, what you just said there, Ola, about us not conceding shots and we were winning games. And the problem is at the start of the season and in towards the middle of the season, there's no pressure there. It's just another game. Yeah. When the finish line becomes in sight or on the horizon, that's since the Brentford, the Sunderland, the United loss, that's when the pressure starts, because they're starting to think about the finish line. That's when it all starts unraveling and going tits up. And that's what I think the problem is. I think if we had to win today to win the league, I don't think we win. It's one of those. And I can see it. You can see the outcome. Like, would you be surprised if we lose the? I don't want this. I don't like speaking like this. But would you be surprised if we lose the cup final to City, don't win the Premier League by 2 points, go out of the Champions League at the semi-final stage, and go out, beat Mansfield, and then go out to the Liverpool?
No, I wouldn't, because we've been there before.
That was too specific, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean that could quite well happen, but we're going to win a quad. You know what I mean? These people, they don't live in reality. They don't use history. Doesn't dictate the future, no, but it's a good indicator.
Yeah.
I mean, when you keep the same manager for so many years and the same things keep happening, you have to start then questioning the Cronkies and the top management. Why they keep him here? Because a lot of the fan base lord him up like he's the second coming of Jesus, and he makes them shitloads of money. That's why he's still here. If the fan base turned and said, "Look, enough's enough. We're not winning trophies. It isn't working, Mikel. It hasn't worked for 4 or 5 years. We demand another manager." They would sack him. They would sack him. It's all about standards, and it's all the time. All the time, people will keep making excuses for this manager who should never have got the job in the first place. It's just going to continue. It's going to continue, and this is what annoys me. But I mean, like, oh mate,
look, I feel your pain, man, and all I see from everything you said is the scars that we're all bearing. We're all bearing these scars, bro.
It's not just me. I totally, It's not.
You know, we're all suffering. We're all suffering from the same PTSD, and it's hard to shake off. It's hard to shake off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we all know we want to get to that promised land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all want to get to that promised land, and by hook or by crook, we need to find a way there. Even if it's not with this manager, because I've said this and I say this again. Either way, I think this season, by the end of this season, we're all going to get what we want, one way or the other. Either Arteta fucks off or we win something major. That's how I'm looking at it, because I personally don't think Berta is here to fuck about. I really don't think so. I don't think Berta is here to fuck about. I think Berta, if he needs to pull the trigger on Arteta, I think he would. Because I think the owners don't want to do it themselves, and they've got somebody ruthless to do it for them, and that's what Berta represents to me.
I hope you're right, mate.
That's how I'm looking at it.
You are absolutely correct. And just by virtue, like Berta wouldn't be here if the Cronkies were happy. And we also know billionaires, and a lot of people don't know how to be humble anymore. People don't know when to say that they got things wrong. And the Kroenkes knew that they got something wrong because they believed that hiring the assistant to one of the greatest managers the sport has seen, that, you know, that there would be some tutelage that would have rubbed off like in that tenure. But they have now seen you can give Arteta every variable in the book to succeed, he will still fail. You give him unlimited time, still fail. You give him over £1 billion unprecedented, still fail. You give him all the patience and all of the authority, almost akin to a dictatorship at this club where you are controlling everything as a manager from top down. And I'm sure that everyone has remembered, we didn't like when Arsene Wenger had so much authority and control at this club simply because he was also languishing, doing bits, going around in a hamster wheel. The Kroenkes have given so much leeway and a blank check, and they are still not. And the only results that we are seeing are incremental increases in the table, but we have no silverware to show for it. And that, and that's why at the end of the day, something like a Carabao Cup, it's not going to say, rather, that is not going to satisfy as an adequate return on investment.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Doctor. I think, we need to realize that our owners are investors. These guys didn't get to be billionaires by not seeing return on the investment they laid out. Like they didn't get to be billionaires like that. So and they like to get people to do their dirty work for them. And I think it's got to a point now where they've seen that maybe Arteta might come to the ceiling with this team as far as this team is concerned. And they've brought in Berta to basically be the intermediate to move forward the job that's been done so far. So if Arteta don't get across the line this season, I really think Berta's the one that's been brought in to pull the trigger on him. And he looks like the type of guy that don't care about doing it either. So I'm interested to see what happens at the end of the season.
I know. I mean, hopefully he does, Ola. He has no relationship with Arteta. I mean, he doesn't have any relationship with him. Not like the hierarchy. The hierarchy have a relationship with Arteta. Maybe it'll be more harder for them to fire him. But Berta, I hope he does his job. But listen, people, we got to get out of here. It's nearly game time. I know it's nearly 3 minutes to the game. Big up to you, Jez. Thank you for being here. And obviously, once again, sorry, prayers to your family. Manny, big up to you. Jamboy, Doc, always my bro, and Ola, you absolute legend, bro. You're gonna see Ola on the next stream that we're gonna redirect to. We're gonna redirect to Lee. You're gonna see Ola, Matty, and Lee, of course. Big up to every one of you, bro. Big up to the chat. Thank you for being here. We're out, people. Take care,
everyone.
Yeah, man. Let's get